Because we work on our glymphatic system, we then picked up in an instant that we didn't press record. Like we are spot on with our brains, Shea. Like for,
So
for,
much brain power.
for 79-year-olds, we also look really good too. But yeah, you've become a very familiar face in our boob camp and our Chelsey Jean community. We've done a retreat together. You're over here whenever I need a hand, helping me out on socials, because I think our missions, our the way that we want to impact the world,
Yeah,
really correlate together.
totally.
Okay.
So
And
aligned.
I would put it out there, ladies, if you are working in the health space and there is somebody who aligns with you, like there is enough sick people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there is enough sick people that need your help, that need women to stick together to help each other. And that's why we have the most amazing boob camp group. We've got nearly 30,000 women in our boob camp, our online community. All this, I think everybody wants to really get this information, Shay. They're not trusting the sources, the channel news and like the what we traditionally get. I think everyone has become a little bit skeptical.
Yeah.
And you know what? If they want to make it out that jumping on a trampoline, that's too woo woo, like resting, oh, that's too woo woo. Taking a pill is so much better. Uh, it's not. It
It's
is
not.
it is definitely not. So today we're going to dive deep into why sleep is so important, how to better your sleep, and
Yeah.
and the facts. So Shay, I would love you. So everybody listening on Instagram, I know that you can only see me, but believe me, Shay is real. She exists. You'll be able to watch the replay of this in our boot camp community and probably on YouTube. I'm not exactly sure how long that will take. But yeah, can you give me a thumbs up on the socials if you can hear me on Instagram? How's that going? Give me a wave. Great. Okay. And yeah, we'll just see on boot camp as well. Cohen, that's okay too. Great. Yep. Thumbs up. All right. So let's dive deep into this, Shay, and why is sleep so important for you?
Thank you. I mean, I agree with everything you're saying, Chelsea. And I think that the comment about the fact that there are enough of us and there are enough sick people out there that we all have a place to, a role to play. Relying on traditional forms of information is not necessarily always the best. You know, I've been working in this space for the past 10 years. You've been working in this space for double that. Um,
30.
30, triple that. And, you know, so our accumulation of knowledge is very broad and we are talking to people every single day. And so we know a lot. You know, I'm not a doctor. I am a learned incredibly passionate person when it comes to sleep. As I said, I've been doing this for 10 years. And the differences that it can make are absolutely huge. And I think that that's what we need to focus on. And for me, the glymphatic system is so relevant to sleep. And it was only discovered in 2012 that we actually had this waste detoxification process happening in the brain that used to be thought that because of the cerebral spinal fluid, that there was no detoxification pathway in the brain. Now, they're still mapping out how this actually all comes together. And it really, that's fairly new research. Hopefully, though, they collectively, whoever that may be, us, you know, really start to bring this to the forefront because cardiovascular disease used to be the number one killer in Australia. It has just been overtaken by dementia, and women are 60% more at risk than men, which is huge for us and huge for this community. And this is what I'm so passionate about because I can tell you that I am incredibly passionate about my health, how I feel, the way that I show up, the way that it impacts me personally. And I want to live with full mobility, with all my faculties well into my 80s or 90s. That's my goal to get to that point. And it requires work. It's not just to take a pill, hope for the best, read, you know, listen to the information from these people that really maybe don't know all the information. Because when we start to understand each and every one of us what's going on for us, that's when we start to unlock these answers. You know, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, totally. So if we can just let those numbers sort of sink in, if you say to somebody, what do you think might take you out? Like what might be the reason that you die? What sickness are you going to have? I don't think that people would say that it would be some neuro disease.
No,
That dementia would be the number one thing in Australia. Okay.
killer. Number one killer,
The
they
number
call
one
it.
killer. Yeah, I don't like saying that word online because maybe it might take us out. But, it is the number one thing. So, people would say cancer.
Yeah,
People would say, yeah, the heart, like heart, some type of heart disease. But if you say that it's a neurological disease, impact, which is having inflammation and
yeah,
toxins stuck in
yeah,
the brain. Yeah. And the same thing is, what is a tumor? The same thing. That is toxins stuck in your body that can't get out, like somewhere in your body. And your body's just collecting that in a sack until those pathways that it can get taken out. The same thing happens in our brains. So when we start to notice a shift that our words aren't coming to us fast enough, we are forgetting different things. Like, and I know that we're all busy and you can definitely forget something, but when this becomes a pattern, unfortunately, I find that women will just brush it off and not want to know. Do you think the same?
absolutely. And I think that this is what I want to talk about because there are some fundamentals here to talk about, and then we'll talk more about how to use these tools and what we can do. And I think that when we start to understand that it's not just necessarily hormonal. Of course, there are hormonal changes that are happening for women when it comes to perimenopause and menopause that impact this. However, if we are living a lifestyle that is not supporting us from a nutrition point of view, from a movement point of view, from the toxins that are around us, etc., then we are overloading our systems at such a high rate that it is very hard to clear all this. Now we're also living in the technological age. So people like you and I, we are the last of the population to straddle what was the agricultural industry, the era, and the digital era. So our children were born into the digital era, and that is all that they will really know. I mean, they'll know stuff from us, but then their children will only know that, and so it's a really interesting place that we find ourselves in because what you just mentioned with so much technology, we are so bombarded. So part of the role in this is how do we give ourselves space? How do we allow the brain? It's like when you've got your computer on. We sat here before and we had to close down all of our tabs. You and I both have a million tabs open, which is like having a million tabs open in your brain. And if we're not closing those down, it doesn't function. The computer doesn't function properly. So it's the same analogy. Our brain can't function properly because they've got all these tabs open as busy women, mums, caretakers, wives, partners, whatever we might be in the role. How are we looking after ourselves and our brain? And our brain needs to become one of the things that we think the most about in our day.
I've just frozen, I think, but can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what happens. The tabs stay open, the anxiety kicks in, the guilt then also kicks in of, am I doing enough or did I miss that? What's going on? I should be doing more, or they're not doing it good enough, so I have to keep on going. Yeah, and I think we have to realize that we can't just say, oh, when that changes over there and when that changes and when that falls into place, then I'll be able to look after myself. Then I can do my dry skin brushing with the gloves. Then I can put my moisturizer on. Then I can eat properly. Like the story that I've moved into my house like last year, and the fridge came with my house. And I just don't like it. It's one where you have the freezer all on one side and the fridge on the other. So I can't fit a lot in. And so it's like I'm making the excuse that because I can't fit good things into my fridge, well, then I'm not cooking as
Yeah.
much. So then I'm, eating out more. And it's like, so when I get a new fridge, that means that I can see how you can tell yourself stories.
Mm.
And, so instead I just moved out. Anyway. So,
But we also, to that point, we need to, what you're alluding to as well, Chelsea, is that we need to start now, today.
for
If you,
ourselves,
yeah, and not
let,
putting it off.
yeah, and let everything else fall into line, because you make that decision. And you know what? That decision of you looking after yourself is what your partner and your kids and your schoolmates and your uni and your like
And
grandkids and
children.
work children, that's what they all want you to do.
Yeah.
That's what they want you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if we go back and look at it as well, so if we take a step back in terms of sleep, and start to really understand what is going on, a lot of people used to think that we just went to sleep, and a lot of people still think this, that we go to sleep and we kind of just pass out and then we wake up.
Yeah.
When we are sleeping, oh my gosh, these amazing bodies of ours are doing the most phenomenal work. They're
Hmm.
going into recovery stage, they're consolidating learning and memory, they're helping to process emotion. So not only is the brain getting this emotional reconfiguration, but the body, all of our organs, cells, blood, every single part of our body, our lymphatic system, our glymphatic system, our fascia is all getting this upgrade when we get sleep. Now, a
Yeah.
lot of people think that, 5 hours sleep is fine. If you listen to Dr. Matthew Walker, who's considered one of the world's best neuroscientists that's specializing in sleep, he's pretty brutal, and he will categorically say that if you are getting 5 or less hours sleep a night, you will simply live a shorter life. Now, some people go, that's okay. Or they'll say, I don't really mind. But even if you are living a longer life and you're not doing getting the sleep that's required, you will end up with some of these more serious conditions, which is not what we're aiming to do. I want to be healthy. Um,
Shay, is that 5 hours in a row or
5 hours in a row, 5 hours,
not waking up?
well, 5 hours a night, 5 hours a night. The,
Mm.
the number of hours of sleep we need for as an adult is 7 to 9 hours. And a lot of people want to question that and debate that with me all the time. But if we understand the fact that we are cycling through stages of sleep when we sleep, so we've got light sleep, we've got deep sleep, and we've got REM sleep. All of these stages do different things and they all happen at different times throughout the night. So, this is why we need this length of time to enable us to do all of the functions and all the processes. Not because it's just a made up number, because when we go to sleep, we just sleep and we wake up and nothing's happening. We're meant to spend a third of our lives asleep. That's a long time. But what's happening is that as we've moved into this technological era, we've moved away from a lot of our natural light and our circadian rhythms. So, our natural body clock, rising with the sun, going to sleep with the sun, setting. We're bombarded by millions of messages, information, scrolling, screens, light. People talk about blue light all the time. Let's just talk about light. It's actually just light. And light is probably the most critical thing. If we can harness light, that can change so much for us.
And I think working from home and how easy it is to access your emails and the socials, and I'll just make a reel, I'll just do some content, I'll just answer this person back, I'll just jump onto Canva and just create that one last little bit. And then before you know it, it's 11 o'clock at night and you're still in front of a screen. And then it's like, oh, well, stuff having, I'm telling my real story here.
Yeah.
Couldn't be bothered having a shower, and what I ate, whatever, like early before it's too late to eat or anything now. And then you try to go to sleep and it's like, oh, well, then to get my brain off the loop, then you will go and scroll because you just want to get your brain like off.
It's addictions. We are, as a society, we have the strongest addictions known ever. We've got screen addictions, we've got alcohol addictions, nicotine addictions, prescription medication addictions, gaming addiction, like you name it, every addiction. And the screen and the screen time, it, they, and I can say they programmed it. It's the attention society that we live in. Get more attention.
Accumulate, yeah, it's the consumer society. So we've got a question off Insta from Terry. How much credit do you give the smartwatches that measure sleep? Terry, both Shay and I have used the Aura Ring, so not the smartwatches. I regularly get poor sleep according to my watch. I wake regularly and my REM is always lowest and light sleep is always the highest.
I
Do
would
you
say
want to
that they're,
talk a little
they're
bit about the
fairly
different stages?
well, going back to the original question, I think that the smartwatches are fairly accurate. The reason why the rings are considered more accurate is because it's a closer point to the pulse point. So you've got a better read than on a wrist. You know, it's like all these things. I do wear an Aura ring. They did all the research. I've been wearing one for, I don't know, 7 years. I don't wear it all the time though, because I want to be able to take breaks from it because it does have a very low level of EMF in it. And it's the same with the watches have a much stronger hold on that. I do think that they are accurate. So if it's saying that you are getting more light sleep and not a lot of REM sleep, it's probably accurate. And this is where you need to dive deep. I do want everybody to understand that these are all guidelines of information, but it is so important that you understand what you need. How many hours? What's your golden number of hours? How much time do you need in REM sleep and deep sleep to feel good? That's what we're aiming for. So if we talk about REM sleep is when we go into dream state. Dreams are so important because this is what helps to, it's like a therapy session at night. So we're going through and processing emotions that happen throughout the day. It's going in and recalibrating and allowing that memory and learning to be consolidated. Deep sleep is where the body, so all the organs, the cells, all of those things get this beautiful upgrade as well. So that's how we sort of break it into those two systems.
And then so I think deep sleep, is it around 2 hours? Is around
An
the
hour and a
minimum?
half to 2 hours is what we're aiming for. There are often nights when I have a poor night's sleep. Sometimes that looks like 40 minutes and I feel it the next day. So this is about understanding. So we can use all of these devices, but it's also about tuning in and how do you feel the next day to know what's happening for you, whether you are getting good sleep or not.
Yeah, okay. So also Editha has said so much going on in our brain, our bodies need a break. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, we have to make friends with sleep, please, because I think the attitude that we have towards sleep, oh, I don't have time, oh, I'm too busy, oh, sleep is boring. Yeah, all those things are true too. They can be, but what's the more important thing? That you get the most out of your day, that you are the clearest, you can function the best and be the best mum, cooker, cleaner, exerciser, you know, juggler, whatever you do, that you can get the most out of life and keep your brain healthy. So there is lots of things that will stop that from being it, and you can't control everything. Okay.
No, and I think also to that point, if we think about, I think something that gets overlooked a lot, and it's that point about making friends with sleep and really looking forward to getting into bed. So the bedroom will come back too. But if we think about mood, so for women in particular, but men can also be incredibly moody people, but we can be moody. And it gets blamed a lot on hormones. But I also think that it's got a lot to do with sleep. So if you are not at your best because you didn't get a good night's sleep, or maybe you haven't had a good week of sleep, or a good month of sleep, or a good year of sleep, how on earth are you going to feel good? So this is about feeling good. Everything that Chelsey and I are here for is not another thing to do or another thing to buy. It's actually about how do we create and get the best out of our life. And it starts with these things. So clearing out the waste from our body and our system, getting good sleep. So sleep used to be considered the third pillar of health below diet and exercise. And it used to drive me nuts. I'd go into presentations and I'd say, look, sleep's the third pillar of health, but I actually think it should be the first. Thankfully, in the last 12 months, it's been upgraded to become the foundation of health, which it is. Once we can
Yeah.
nail sleep, all these other systems start to fall into place.
Yeah. So people ask me, oh, after they have a lymphatic massage, they can feel really lethargic. They can feel sick. Their body feels heavy. They can get snotty. Like all these different detoxifications effects can happen after they start using their gloves or having a lymphatic massage. And I say to them, make sure you rest
Yeah.
because that energy that you put into thinking, the energy you're putting to moving and doing like your all of your energy needs to go on digestion and metabolism and to your organs, to your liver to be able to detoxify. So the same thing happens like with your brain. It needs time to shut off.
Yeah.
Everything else stop. I need to recalibrate. I need to get out the dusting brush. I need to get out the blower and the vacuum and even the gurney and get rid of the shit that is accumulating in my head, in my brain. And like, no wonder out of the 600 to 700 lymph nodes that you have in your body, most of them is in this area here because all of the waste that's coming, your brain is your most important organ. All of these waste is coming down from your brain. You've got 300 in this pickup point here, waiting for all of that toxins to come down. And that only happens really when you are sleeping, when everything isn't ticking away crazy and the dumpsters can get emptied. Yeah,
If you think about it, your brain takes requires 20% of your energy.
that is
That's a
amazing.
lot. That's a lot.
20% of our energy is in our brain.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the amount that mine thinks, I reckon I'm up to 55.
I'd say 100.
100.
But let's talk as well about that a bit further in terms of stress and anxiety is considered the number one reason why people are struggling with sleep. And then if we look at that and go, okay, so, but it's a bit of a chicken and egg scenario, stress and anxiety, not sleeping. Are you not sleeping because you're stressed and anxious, or are you stressed and anxious because you're not sleeping? So they're the things that also need to be considered and worked out. But then if you loop it back and talk about what I just spoke about in terms of mood, looking and feeling good, then do we feel less stressed just because of that? Is the stress that we're really creating, and we talk about things like, having bad conversations with work colleagues or family members and things like that. Is that just because we're underslept?
Mm.
And like really, if we start to look at prioritizing this, gosh, it changes the whole vision of your day so massively.
Well, look at the word depression, right? Deep rest,
Yeah.
deep depression, like deep rest. Your body
And
is screaming out for some deep rest and some detoxification.
and I think that if you're someone who's struggling with sleep and you haven't nailed it yet, that rest is just as important as sleep. And resting, so NSDR, non-sleep deep rest, which is a traditional yoga nidra style practice, which is literally just the art of even sitting in a chair, lying down, and just closing down your eyes and resting. 20 minutes of NSDR, non-sleep deep rest, like having a nap, it's the equivalent of a nap, is what your body needs because you're shutting down the stimulation, the thoughts, and you're allowing the body just to rest and recover and receive.
We just had that question on Instagram saying, is restorative yoga good for you if you don't sleep more than 6 hours?
Totally. Yes, this is what we're wanting to do, and if you are a busy mum, parent, whatever your work colleague, whatever your role is that you've got going on, and sleep is evading you right now, resting, getting those little micro naps and things like that are hugely important.
Yeah, and I often find people say when they're rested because the different cycles that we go through. So we go through our crazy bitch, crazy woman, like get everything done, psycho, phase, and then we have to then rest. And when we're resting is when we go into those making a list thinking about the things that we can do, crossing things off and go, oh, no, that's not really going to get me to where I need to be. That's a little bit better to do it that way. Is when you start making that list and then the excitement then builds and then you're like, you know what, now I can start to take some action. So it happens and that can happen in one day. You
Yeah.
can go through that cycle in one day, or you may need to go through that cycle in a month. So now let's talk about the things that we can do to ensure a better night's sleep, Shea.
Perfect. I want to talk about light first. We are going to get to the brush in a minute, but I want to talk about light because I believe once we start to understand light, this is the first thing that can make a huge difference for you. There are lots of things, but just take on board this. So understand that we have a 24-hour body clock, the circadian rhythm, our natural body clock, which is where our organs, our blood, all of the important functions that our body does is on this body clock doing its patterns. So Chinese medicine, absolutely. And if you think about the liver's doing its best detoxification between 1 and 3 a.m. Now, this is often a time where a lot of people wake up and really then struggle to get back to sleep. So if that's you, really start to understand that melatonin, which is our sleep hormone that's created in our brain, is the important hormone when it comes to sleep. Now, it's not a hormone that helps you to sleep. It's the hormone that gets you to sleep. So it's like a starting official at a race. Think about it like that. That's the role that melatonin plays because it's the hormone that helps you feel tired and sleepy. Now, the problem that we've created in this modern society is light because we now have artificial light. So in the morning, I believe that your best night's sleep starts in the morning. The way that you wake up tomorrow and you go outside and spend 10 to 15 minutes with the sun. Now, if it's a cloudy day, stay an extra 5 minutes, but getting that hit of sunlight first thing in the morning sets your circadian rhythm. So then the body starts. No sunglasses, and you can't get it through a
tinted window.
Through a window or even through a car windscreen either, or your windows. You need to go outside. And the beauty about going outside is that you then get to be outside. You get to be in nature. You get to slow down a little bit and breathe and just recalibrate. This might be a perfect opportunity to go for a walk, take the dog around the block, go to the park, just start with small steps. Because
10 minutes.
10 minutes. 10 minutes. And then this allows this beautiful process to happen. Then when we get to the nighttime, where we've now got this society of full-blown LED lights, bright lights, white lights, all these lights, we want to think about the traditional light that we had when we were living in a cave, which is like a fire, so an orange type of light. We want to go back to the 70s where our grandmas had lots of lamps everywhere and we would just turn all the overhead lights off and just live around those lamps. So after dinner, start to think about consciously going around your house and switching off lights. Not only is it good for the environment, but it's going to be good for you, for your brain, for your sleep, because melatonin can't start to be active with lots of light. So that's why Netflix is considered sleep's biggest competitor, because we've got all this light and we keep just pressing next episode. So think about the role that this plays and melatonin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, natural melatonin, not synthetic melatonin.
No, yes. So the best way to stop Netflix is stop in the middle of an episode. Don't wait to the end of an episode.
I do this now. It drives Pete nuts, my husband. I said to him, Chelsea's got this great thing. And he's like, oh my God, I do not want to do it. But he's been allowing me to do it. It's been very good.
Yes, it's honestly, you can just stop it and then you not want to go on to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so making sure that we're doing the light in our eyes. And so when I get up in the morning, I am doing my lymphatic. So you just use your hands and you can stand outside and you can touch your body, massage all of these lymph node areas, and you can do the sequence where we're going to teach you on your face as well.
Yeah. So choose when you do that. So this is what I do. I'll just give you my morning routine. Yes. I wake up, I have a beautiful little gratitude practice where I'm just grateful for being here. I'm grateful for having a roof over my head, clean, fresh air, running water, beautiful family, all the things, whatever that might look like for you. And then I get out of bed, go to the bathroom, get a glass of water because we lose a lot of our hydration overnight. So having that first glass of water is very important. I do coconut oil pulling. You don't need to do that. That's adding another stress into your life. But if you're doing it, great. Then I get out and I go for my walk. I go for my walk, I get my sunlight. Then when I come back, I do my gloves. So I'm opening up, I'm doing my opening. Then I'm doing my gloves. I then have a shower. And then when I get out, I do my face brushing with my glymphatic face brush. So that's
Okay.
my sequence. But I think that adding, so when we want to habit stack, putting this practice next to other things and having a consistent routine is how you don't skip it.
Yes. Completely agree. And just add it on to something because I promise you the 2 minutes that we're telling you to massage your body is self-care, is looking after you, is preventative health in the best way by able to open up all the gates so all the toxins can, because you have been laying stagnant. Yes, your brain has been processing. Yes, it's all going to the lymph nodes. Okay. But then you need to get up because this lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. It relies on you to move. So moving, activating, pumping those lymph nodes is going to then process all of the junk that's collected there through the night because you've been, in corpse pose. Yeah, so really important to move and then activate your lymph in the morning. So, and drink the water so that can all just be flushed through.
And then what we want to do with the face brushing, the reason why you want a face brush, so just like your gloves where you're body brushing, is that we've got these pathways in our brain. So there's waste that is building up, proteins, beta amyloid, different things that are building up on in the brain. And we want to, so there's a car wash that's happening, which is why it's important to be hydrated as well. So we want to experience this car wash at nighttime. So when we use this brush in the sequence before we go to bed, we're helping to open up those pathways. And then in the morning, we're helping to flush it. So it's a two-step process to do it at nighttime and then do it in the morning.
Yeah. So what I love about it is with the brush, we've got the big head on the one side, the big flat head that we can tap and we can activate. Now, all of you know that this is where lymph nodes sit because it's the only place your GP will look at you or even touch you and go, "Oh yes, your lymph nodes are swollen." Then they probably touch you with some gloves and then like tell you to stay back, stay away, put on a mask,
Wear a
hide
mask.
the shield, whatever bullshit they're into. But so we're just going to tap all of these areas. And like I said before, wake up the lymph nodes. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. Move your shoulders around because nothing is going to flow through a body that is all nice and is holding on too tight. So move your shoulders. Another really good thing, Shea, a tip that I like to share with everyone, and it's gross to watch on camera, but I'll just clean everything out of my teeth first. But like opening your mouth up, moving the jaw from side to side. Jaws get really tight and locked and sore. So pulling the
And that's connected to your hips, and then if you think about it, this is connected to the way that you might be sleeping. So you got tight hips, you got tight jaw. It's clenched all in one.
yes, yes. So make the ugliest faces at yourself that you can in the morning. Walk around looking at your family, going, they're like, oh, here she goes again.
And I can
Crazy
feel that. I
mother.
don't know about you, but like I get the clunky, it is tough.
Yes, yes. So I hope everyone is pulling faces at me now on their screen. I'd like to see. And
Take a quick photo.
yeah, yeah, because let's just do spastics.
Love it.
All right. And then we can start brushing. And it feels so nice to brush down. Now, have a brush in the car. I find driving, stopping at lights, or at your desk as well, if you're doing a lot of computer work, to be able to tap on, like, do your lymphatic first a bit on your open up all of these areas first, and then brushing down your neck. So the difference between your lymphatic and your glymphatic, so your glymphatic is from your shoulders up and your lymphatic is from your shoulders down. When it comes to your face, it is divided in half. You do have a line down the middle. So left drains to left and right drains to right. When it's different when it comes to your body, but that's why we're going to draw a line down the center and we're going to brush across to this wagon wheel, this pickup area here at your neck, at your ear, and then down. So we're going to always start at the lowest point. There is no point. point brushing down here unless we've already activated all around the lower part first. Now, this can be a little bit shocking to some beauty therapists, can't it, Shay?
Oh, because they always, and I notice most people when they get the brush the first time, they're always brushing up because that's what beauty therapy was trained. We're always, it's a reprogramming that's required.
Yes.
And to that point before, Chelsea, about, in the car, in the office, this beautiful motion of brushing the neck, which is also connected to our vagus nerve, which is
Yeah.
responsible for our nervous system and our state of being throughout the day, well, all the time, but particularly during the day where we want to try and maintain some consistency. This is helping to really create this beautiful, soft, gentle feeling for our nervous system
Oh, and you can't, like, what, thyroid, you
and
know,
the thyroid.
thyroid, poisons, everything. The nodules on thyroids that I'm hearing lately is out of control.
Out of control. The amount of people that are being diagnosed with thyroid conditions is huge.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
driving me insane. And there's a lot of natural things that you can do. So when it comes to your face, just make sure you're doing the bottom part and then brushing to your ear and then down. Don't, like, it's okay to do all of one side and then down. I like just doing the bottom half, both bottom halves,
So
and
I like to think about it in thirds. So
yeah,
you've got this beautiful symmetry that Chelsea talked about where we're going half down and then also horizontally. And we're thinking about it in these thirds so that you're getting every bit done. And then if you're somebody who struggles a lot with allergies, you've got sinus, which is also because we've been lying horizontally. So this naturally builds up. This is a great area to really work on, and you will notice such a difference here. I tend to get seasonal allergies and makes a huge difference.
And then even if you want to concentrate, if you're trying to get hair growth, like stimulating around your skull, so,
Yeah.
so good as well. If you're like a blondie like us and gets our natural blonde put back in every 8 weeks or so, it is really good to stimulate your scalp.
And I think that, I've been working on this brush for, it took about 12 months of consideration, design, and it was developed so that the head is a really good size. It gives you really good coverage. And the bristles have been chosen specifically where they're not too hard and they're not too soft. Another question I get asked all the time by people is, oh, I use a gua sha, so I don't need to brush. These are two completely different things, and I suggest doing both. If you're going to use a gua sha as well, do the brush first and then use the gua sha. But the difference is that the brush is helping to stimulate. So it's a stimulation exercise. It's bringing blood flow to the cells. It's helping to hydrate everything so that
Collagen production.
collagen production, you're regenerating the skin. I have been brushing my face now for nearly 2 years, and I will do some before and afters actually on Instagram because the difference in my skin is
Yeah.
enormous, huge.
But the good thing is, Shay, is you don't need a gua sha because you just turn it upside down.
You can also use this end,
Yeah. That's
and
what I,
that this was specifically designed
yeah.
for that. People like to use a crystal, but this is exactly the same technique.
Yeah. I like it because you know that I like ease. I
Yeah.
don't have a lot of time, so it's a lot easier for me just to flip it.
Yeah, and it's a bamboo. It's all natural. It's a bamboo product, so it's not going to be any issues.
Yeah. Feels amazing too. The results that people talk about in our boob camp group, they will, when they first start using the glymphatics and system, they will say, "Oh my God, my sinuses now are draining so much. I can like the nasal drip, like it goes for a little bit longer and then it stops. I can now breathe on
Yeah.
that side of my face. Like there are so, and the skin tone
And
definitely improves
also
skin
for
tone.
puffiness, like if you're somebody who
Confidence.
has a lot of puffiness around your eyes, there are days when I don't have great sleep and I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh. And the minute that I do this, within 10 minutes, it's gone.
Mm,
And, also for fine lines, because if we think about as well, what happens if we're not exfoliating? So this is a beautiful exfoliation. You're removing all the dead skin cells by doing this daily. What happens with dead skin cells from a beauty perspective is that that's when we get creases, the dead skin cells sit in the creases, which makes the wrinkles worse. So this is why this is helping to really firm and smooth out all of that external, but it's working on the internal as well. So it's got a dual effect.
Yeah, so Robin just commented saying my skin feels so soft after using my brush. I love it.
Great.
And Terry, can we have a link to the brush, please? So, to your website. So
Yeah,
Shea.
glow flow method,
Okay.
glowflowmethod.com.
Okay, we will add it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Glowflowmethod.com to
Yeah.
grab
Brush.
Shay's brush. Yes.
And it comes in this beautiful little
Oh,
canister
the
as well.
canister.
So you've got the canister, which is lovely. So then you can travel with it easily. And you can have it sitting on your bench top in your bathroom. So it looks nice as well, keeps it protected. On that, lots of feedback around a cleaning spray. It's in the works. I'm working on it as we speak. It'll be ready in the new year. In the meantime, if you want to clean it, you could use, if you currently use anything for your makeup brush, even just a mixture of vinegar and water would be fine for now, but make sure you dry it out because it is bamboo. So you want to make sure it's you dry it out after you've cleaned it.
Yeah. So, ladies, let's recap. Um, Sleep is so important, not just to keep other people happy that you're in a good mood. If you are scared of not having all of your faculties growing old, this is something that you can take action now and do. And if this is something that you're showing the signs and symptoms of now with memory loss, with a bit of brain fog, and not being able to process information as well, anxiety, depression, and that overall feeling of this is too much, if you're not getting the best out of life, if you're not getting clear ideas coming through, and being the best version of you, try sleep. Yeah.
Yeah. Prioritize it. It requires, just like when we're working on our lymphatic system, it requires priority. And you can't expect to just go to bed and sleep. It doesn't work like that. We weren't taught how to do this either. So it's not your fault. But you do need to create some sort of down regulation, some sort of gap in between wanting to go to sleep and falling asleep. The ideal amount of time between going to bed and falling asleep is around sort of, 6, 7, 9, 8 minutes. If you
Yes.
are falling asleep within 30 seconds, it probably means that you are so exhausted. So it's not actually a great thing because often those people tend to wake up later. So you want to create some sort of beautiful routine. Make sure your bedroom is a clean environment as well. You don't have the kids' skateboards and the washing piled up and all the things, that you've got a really decluttered, clean environment where you go, oh my God, I can't wait to get into my bed tonight. And have that routine where you might read a book, use some aromatherapy, do your brushing, like incorporate this as part of that beautiful downtime, that relaxation. If the body is not in a relaxed state, it's going to be very hard to fall asleep or stay asleep.
Yeah. And we know that there is a lot of reasons that cause you not to be able to sleep properly. Okay.
Huge.
We understand that what we're asking can be hard, but we would just like you to try. So don't go home tonight and be like maniac. I'm sleeping, like nobody else is to do this, this, and this. I'm having my shower at this time. I'm not like, don't turn into psycho crazy woman. Just try one little thing. And then the next, get your temperature right, get the light right. I'm going to bed at the same time each night.
And waking up at the same time, going to bed and waking up roughly the same time.
Yeah, don't have your shower too close to going to bed time. Like leave a good hour in between having your shower and going to sleep. So there's lots
But
of,
don't go and watch TV in between that.
yeah,
The shower is a really great cue that sends a signal to the body with the drop in temperature. It's one of the cues to the brain that, hey, this is a drop in temperature. It's time to feel sleepy. It's time to get that melatonin, getting ready to feel tired. So make sure if the shower is part of your routine, don't go and then scroll and watch TV in between.
yeah, yeah. Lots of things that you can do, lots of things that you can change. We'd like to hear your comments and your like what has helped you sleep? What has helped you get better sleep? What conversations have you had to have with your partner, with your family? Is there better foods? Like allergies that were flaring up and causing you not to sleep, toilet situations, like we know that there's lots. So let us know in the comments, let us know in boob camp, and then we'll be able to, Shea, you'll be in there
Yeah,
and
answering.
yeah, answering questions and keeping the conversation going.
And if anyone wants, if you're really, really stuck and you want some support, reach out and I can look at that on a case by case basis. I do run lots of sleep education, particularly in corporate environments, but also for one-on-ones. So happy to help anybody who is really struggling.
Yeah. Thank you. I know that you are always there to help our community. So thank you so much, darling.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It was great, as
Thank you,
usual.
everybody who joined online in boot camp, online on Instagram. The copy will be, if you've got friends who need to watch this, please tag them
Yeah.
and join our group. Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Everybody, goodbye.